Hello, my name is Douglas Robinson with Trebuchet Software, and in this video we're going to talk about how to update programmatically the value of a text box on a form using a macro. And I'm very happy to do this video because it took me a lot of effort to figure out how to do this. But essentially, one of the problems that I noticed very quickly with using LibreOffice Base, especially connecting to an external table, is basically when you use an embedded database and you go and create a table, you actually get this property where you can say, hey, this is the primary key field here, right? Well, normally there's a little button here or box that says this is an auto number field, which means basically it automatically increments itself. I'm using an external Firebird database, and it doesn't seem to give you the option for that when you're using an external Firebird database using the, what is it, the JDBC connector for those technical people out there. So basically, I have been having to enter in my primary keys on my own, and eventually that becomes a pain in the butt, right? So what I've done is I've created a macro that will randomly generate a number, and because I don't expect to have way too many entries in each of my tables, I've set it up to where that number will generate a random number between 0 and 1,000, and I probably won't run into duplicates. And if I do, I can just click into my text box again, and magically I get another number. I have to figure out why it's formatting this with a dollar sign, but that part doesn't really matter. So basically, we're going to take a look at what this macro is and how we've set it up. Because for me, right now, I have it set up to where if I just click into the box, I get a random number and I'm good. Uh, I could also set that up to where it happens on page load. It doesn't really matter for me, but one of the events that you have on this control itself is when the control receives focus, for example. So text modified when receiving focus, we're running a standard.trebuchet macros.main macro. So we'll take a look at what that is. So if I go to my tools menu and I go to macros and I hit edit macros, under my database file here, I'm going to take a look at what this macro is. And I'm putting this on the screen. I found it from a website somewhere off on the net here. And it took a lot of Googling across many different websites to actually figure out what it is that you need to do for this. But this actually, here it is, solved my problem and gave me enough information to where I could go and update the field on the form, which is basically you declare a form as an object, you declare a field as an object, you populate that form using, see, I had seen references to this component, and then I'd seen references to get by name. I was missing, you need this component dot draw page dot forms dot get by name to get the form. And then from there, once you have your form populated, you can say, oh, well, form dot, uh, I'm not using a subform, so I got rid of this part. And so then you get the current controller populating this, and you then from the controller, I don't know what we're doing with the controller. Oh, that gets the control. Okay. So anyways, ignore get field, ignore subform, because in my case I didn't have those. So we'll take a look at what our code is. And so basically we have a field, which is our rec ID field. We're saying form.getByName on that rec ID field, and then we're populating a variable, which is answer, copied and pasted it from their website with, in our case, I've created a random number generator. There's a function for randomize that initializes that generator, and then there's a function for RND, which returns the random number as a random number between 0 and 1, which I'm multiplying by 1,000 to get my integer. And next, we actually go and update the field. So that happens here using the current controller. So you've got docCTL, which is equal to this component dot get current controller. That then has a property for get control, which is using this O put field, which is basically form dot get by name of rec ID. Once this gets populated with get control of that field, we can then give its text property this variable of our answer, which is our random number, and then to save it, we apparently have to run this commit command. Now that is all much more convoluted than I would have thought, and I never would have guessed all of this text that I have to run. And I searched for probably the last 40 minutes. I Googled, I, I searched my search engine, I went on YouTube, I did everything I could, I almost gave up. But this actually did what I needed it to do. And so, with all of that said, I just wanted to record this and put that out there so that you can see how you can actually go and update a text box on a LibreOffice base form using a macro. Thanks.